So you guys ask me a lot about my session settings, and I got a couple of tips to make your game feel a little more realistic. Bro got smoked. Y'all been asking about my session settings. Tough, right? I got a couple of tips to make the game feel a little more realistic. So first, when you press start, you can go down to options, gameplay, and press up one time to go to advanced settings, or hold start to get to the settings, right? So I'll go down every setting here and I'll explain to you what I feel like it does and why I have it set where it's set. So this is gravity, and my gravity is set 5 points down from the top. That is a good spot for gravity for me. I think it makes the game look and feel a lot more realistic, so it's not so floaty like some of the other skaters. Push force will change the force that's applied when your character pushes, allowing you to reach the maximum push speed, which is the very next setting right here. And when you change these two, your character will be pushing out of this world. So foot braking friction controls how well your character stops when you put your foot down, and where I have it now is solid, right? He doesn't stop the fastest. It's pretty quick. If you turned it up, he'd stop way faster. Banking turn rate controls how much your character turns when you press RT or LT. I don't want my character to turn that hard, so I turned it down pretty low. My trucks are kind of tight. You see, he has to like really reach his full edge before he starts rotating in a circle. If that setting is turned up, bro's gonna turn a little too quick for me. Crouching bank turn rate controls how much your character turns left or right when pressing LT or RT while crouching or loading up an ollie like this. I've turned that off. I don't want bro to move. I don't ever load up my ollie and then decide to take a turn. Pop board to body distance controls how far the skateboard is from your body when you pop. So say I did a kickflip right here. You can see that the kickflip is just under his feet. Just under his feet. But when he catches, he doesn't make complete contact. Kind of the trade-off you get, in my opinion. When you turn it down to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away from the bottom, it makes the impossibles wrap the foot without your foot clipping through the skateboard, and to me that was the most important thing. Low pop high controls how high your low pop is, and you get low pop by popping really quickly. Don't allow him to bend all the way down. The high pop high controls how high your player pops when you bend all the way down for the ollie like that. The way I play session, I like to do a lot of grind tricks kind of on the technical side, so I like my low pop to be kind of high so I can get into those higher ledges with ease. Grind pop height controls how high you pop out of a grind. So for example, when you're showing the grind pop height, you want to get into a grind and then ollie out, you feel me? And my pop height isn't that high, so bro doesn't pop out very high from the grind, because to me that's kind of realistic. But if you turned it up from where I have it, which is almost dead center, your pop height will be through the roof out the grinds. Manual pop height controls how high you pop out of the manual, and that one's low, but bro still pops pretty high out the manual. So be careful with that setting. If you turn manual pop height any higher than this, which is 4 away from the bottom, your dude's gonna be launching out of these ollies, bro, out of these manuals. Body rotation rate is an important one because it increases how fast your character rotates while in the air. And when you use manual rotation mode, you want bro to start up kind of real. So where I put it, I think is solid. We can get like almost full 360s on flat ground, but not all the way without some type of pivot. And I prefer it like that, but you obviously have the opportunity or the right to change it however you wish. This is where my body rotation rate is, and it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away from the top. Body rotation friction controls how fast your player slows down, but it doesn't apply to manual rotation modes. If you're using pressure rotation mode or timed rotation mode, this is going to make some sense for you. And if you do use those, you'll be able to have your character slow down in a more realistic manner, and it's honestly going to look cool. You should definitely try it. Definitely try it. I don't use it because it's hard for me to, one, time how long I'm about to hold this button or choose a specific pressure. I like to just press it and rip, you feel me? I be letting that shit go. Yo, thanks for all the follows, guys. I see y'all on TikTok. I'm recording a YouTube video right now, so sorry if I'm not talking too much to you. I'll lock back in with chat in like 4 minutes, probably less. In air board orient speed. Increasing this value will allow your player to control the position of the board in the air more quickly. And in my opinion, that allows you to get flips in the grinds a lot easier. That allows you to do like 270s or 360s where you whip one foot around a lot easier. When that is turned down, your character has less control of the skateboard while in the air. When it's turned up, your character has more control of the skateboard while in the air, allowing some pretty wild. He went straight through that curb. I use it maxed out, obviously, for grinds. We talked about that. Flip speed controls how fast the skateboard flips when you do a flip trick, or how fast you are able to flip it, because it doesn't control how fast you flip every time. You control how fast you flip every time by hitting that button quickly, or flicking that stick quickly, I should say. But when it's turned all the way up, you have the ability to do some really wonky looking flips. Your nightmare flips come out fast. Every flip into the grind comes out super fast. You can make the grind come out freaking instant. I mean, the flip come out instant, but that's not the realest look, so I turned mine down a little bit. Mine used to be maxed out. I played with flip and scoop speed maxed out, but right now I think this is about, what, 7 away from the top? 8 away from the top. So that's pretty much 50-50, or at least almost. That's where I put my flip speed. It feels pretty good. Flip friction controls how fast your foot stops the board while flipping. And if you have that up too high, he's going to catch the board way too soon, and you kick the deck out from under you a lot. When I turn it down to about here, this is what, 5 away from the bottom? Yeah, that was 5 away from the bottom. That's where I turned mine to, and it started to play perfectly, extremely smooth. Same thing with scoop speed. That controls how fast you scoop the board. But here's a trick. When you turn your scoop speed up really high, but your flip speed is low, the game chooses your flip speed to determine how fast the board moves and scoops. So if your flip speed is maxed out and your scoop speed is maxed out, you're going to get 540 double flips. But if your scoop speed is maxed out and your flip speed is low, you'll be able to get off some like smooth trays. You'll still be able to get off like smooth 360 shove tricks without it going too fast. It's a nice little mix, you feel me? Scoop friction, exact same thing. Controls how fast you stop the scoop when it's spinning, but I think these two, flip and scoop friction, play hand in hand, so you can just play around with it. I put mine 3 away from the bottom. Grind friction controls how much friction you feel when you're grinding and whether it's gonna slow you down or not. And when that is turned all the way down, bro, you got the ultimate amount of wax on every obstacle. You will just be sliding. But when it's turned up a decent amount, you got like a decent slide, bro. You got a decent slide. You get a solid slide. I like where I have mine. Now, grind rotation rate controls how fast your character rotates while in a grind. All right, let's try this whole double set. It looks nice. Good tray. That was disgusting. So like if you were to do like switch front crook 180, like that's kind of tight. Yeah, he slid on the nose, whatever. I'm a regular skateboarder. Up next is grind. Oh no, up next is Powerslide friction, and that controls how slow your character goes when you start the Powerslide. And mine is turned like dead in the middle. He gets a decent amount of slowdown off the Powerslide. If you turn the setting down, he's not gonna slide much. I mean, he's gonna slide an absolute ton, and you're not gonna stop. If you turn it up, the Powerslide is gonna stop in your tracks. Up to you. Board control side impulse is an interesting one. When you do ollies in this game, you can ollie straight, or you can add some side impulse to that ollie, and he'll turn a little bit, you see? And like depending on how much to the side you push that, your back foot, it determines how far he's gonna go to the side. And mine is turn almost maxed out. Mine's turn almost maxed out because I like to go over rails a lot, and I like to do alley-oop tricks, and it does help when you go to the side impulse pop. But honestly, I don't use it that much. Even though my setting is almost maxed out, 2 away from the top, I don't use it that much. Board control extra pitch and extra scoop will determine how much pitch and scoop there is on your spin tricks, which will determine how like vertical your tray flips come out. I wish it affected impossibles to control how vertical that impossible comes out, but it doesn't. These I just put like 1 away from 50%, like dead in the middle. Just down a little bit, because I think that these two aren't the best advanced settings, and when you play with these, it only makes the game look worse. So I just leave them where they're at, so I don't have any troubles with my tricks coming out wonky, you feel me? Dark slide catch angle is pretty cool. Increasing this value will make dark slides easier to catch and execute. 1 lower than my my pooch and skip, my pitch and scoop. Just 1 lower than that. Big drop max height is pretty cool. You know, it changes the height that's determined a big drop in the game, which when you have this enabled, right? Big drop landing on. Skating things that's large, you're going to have to input something to make your guy catch himself. So that was nothing, right? But let's skate this stair set. This should be one that's going to count as a big drop. Turn up. Clip the stair and it's still counted as a big drop here. Let's just get a full clearance. So bro's gonna fall regardless unless you input the big drop, which is pushing up and down on the front and back foot respectively. It's kind of like locking into a 50-50. My only problem with this is that when bro lands, this animation occurs where he kind of like pumps on flat ground. And I don't like that weird stand up with the like jiggle in bro's shoulders. It's just not the vibe for me. But the way around it is just tap that quick input, bro, right before he lands. So when he lands, there's no input to create a pump. Then you got it. And I don't mind a game being difficult, but I feel like I already make the game quite difficult. So I don't need that part. And my thing I always had trouble with, you don't switch your big drop input when he lands switch. You don't change it. I always thought you did, but you don't. Pumping impulse multiplier and max sprint speed are the last two. I got my pumping impulse multiplier maxed out. So when time comes to pump, bro really goes for it. Because skating transition in this game sucks. So you might as well pump heavy when you get the chance. And max sprint speed is just so bro can sprint real fast. And I don't like going that fast in this game. It makes it look real unrealistic. But there goes my settings, man. And if you guys have seen any of my session videos, they look fun. I just dropped one. And this one is coming up right behind that. I appreciate y'all. We in here for 2024 playing some session.